Prices aren't really going up. Your money is shrinking. The loaf of bread on the shelf didn't get better or rarer or harder to make. The dollar in your pocket just quietly buys a little less of it than it did last year. The rising price tag isn't the story. It's the scoreboard. Stretch that over a few decades, and the same cart of groceries, the same rent, the same tank of gas, costs roughly double what it used to. Not because any of it improved, because the dollar kept losing value while you were holding it. So here's how inflation actually works, what really makes prices rise, the forces economists still argue about, and why a little inflation isn't the enemy. It's the goal. Start with how we even know prices are rising. Every month, the Bureau of Labor Statistics fills the same imaginary shopping cart. Thousands of things, groceries, rent, gas, a haircut, and adds up the total. Inflation is just how much more that cart cost than it did a year ago. Right now, that cart is about 4.2% more expensive than a year ago. That's the May 2026 reading, up from 3.8% the month before, the highest in about 3 years. But here's the first trap, and it's where most people get confused. There isn't one inflation number, there are several, and they're different rulers. The headline number, 4.2%, counts everything, including the two jumpiest things in the cart, food and energy. Strip those out, and you get what's called core inflation, which was 2.9%. Much of today's spike is energy. Gas alone is up about 40% over the year. And then there's a third ruler the Federal Reserve actually prefers, called PCE. When you hear the Fed wants 2% inflation, that 2% is measured on PCE, not the headline number. So don't hold them up against each other. It's like comparing a temperature in Fahrenheit to one in Celsius. Same idea, different scale. Okay, so prices rise. Why? This is the part where honest people have to admit something. Economists genuinely disagree. There's no single switch. There are a few forces, usually pulling together. The first is simple: too much spending. When everyone wants to buy more than the economy can make, sellers raise prices. More buyers, same shelves. The second pulls the opposite way. It costs more to make things. An oil shock, a tangled supply chain, higher wages. Costs go up, and sellers pass them on. And the third is the one people fight about most: more dollars floating around. If the amount of money grows much faster than the amount of stuff to buy, each dollar ends up worth a little less. That third one fits the recent past almost too well. The money supply, basically all the cash and checking and savings in the country, grew about 41% in just 2 years, 2020 and 2021. Normally it grows around 6% a year. More money. And at the same time, factories closed and ships sat stuck at port. More dollars, fewer goods. But here's the catch, and it's the thing that keeps this honest. Creating money does not automatically raise prices. We know that because we watched it happen. From 2008 to 2020, the Fed created trillions of dollars through a program called quantitative easing, the subject of the last video. Trillions. And for most of that decade, inflation sat at or below 2%. The money was created, prices barely moved. So they printed money, that's why prices went up, is too simple. Sometimes new money floods into the real economy and lifts prices. Sometimes it sits inside the financial system and doesn't, which is exactly why economists are still arguing. You can see the argument in the 2021 spike. One camp says it was all that money meeting empty shelves. Another says it was the broken supply chains, the energy shock, the war in Ukraine. There's even a fight over corporate profits. One progressive group estimated that profits drove about 53% of inflation in mid-2023, while researchers at the San Francisco Fed found that company markups stayed essentially flat and weren't a main driver at all. Two credible looks at the same period, two different answers. That disagreement is the truth here, not a tidy villain. Whatever the cause, the effect lands the same way. Inflation quietly eats savings that don't keep up. It eats fixed incomes, and it plays a trick on your paycheck. A 3% raise during 4% inflation isn't a raise. It's a small pay cut, because your money buys less than it did before. Zoom out, and the erosion is staggering. $1,000 in the year 2000 buys what about $1,870 buys today. The same money, nearly half its power, gone. Quietly, over 25 years. Nobody took it. It just leaked out, a little each year. And that's the modern dollar by design. It's what's called fiat currency, money that isn't backed by gold or anything you can hold. Just trust in the institutions behind it, which means its value can drift. And it does. The drift can also turn violent. In June 2022, that cart was 9.1% more expensive than the year before, the biggest one-year jump since 1981. Food was up more than 10%, energy over 40%. For a while, money was losing value faster than almost any paycheck could chase. Which raises the obvious question: if inflation does all that, why does anyone aim for it on purpose? Because the alternative is worse. The Fed officially targets 2%, a little inflation every year, on purpose, since 2012. Not because they like prices rising, but because the opposite, falling prices, called deflation, can freeze an economy solid. If you knew everything would be cheaper next month, you'd wait to buy. So would everyone. And an economy where everyone waits stops. So a small, steady, predictable amount of inflation is the grease, not the grit. The danger was never that prices rise. It's when they rise fast and unpredictably, the way they did in 2022. And that's the real thing to understand. Inflation isn't prices misbehaving. It's the measuring stick itself, your money, slowly shrinking. Once you see that the dollar is the thing that's moving, the whole confusing mess finally holds still. So if a little inflation is the goal, you might wonder what happens when it goes the other way, when prices actually fall. That's next, deflation, and why central banks are quietly more afraid of it than of inflation. If you want that one, it's worth following along.